Hello everybody, it's Thorfinn here, and today what I want to do is go over this new agent that has recently joined the Valorant roster known as VYSE. VYSE is a sentinel, more specifically in kind of like a subcategory complex standpoint. VYSE is a reactive sentinel, and more specifically going to be a very brawly sentinel. So what I mean by reactive and brawly is kind of with all of the utility VYSE has, it's based off of quickly reacting to things, which Valorant as a game is about reaction, right? Reacting to util, reacting to situations and things like that, right? So because of this, I think VYSE plays really well into kind of how Valorant works. So today, I want to demonstrate everything that I've seen about VYSE and kind of what I think the agent is going to play like and be like. Okay, so first, boom. Okay, so this is VYSE's Razor Vine. Upon clicking E on the Razor Vine, as you can see, barbed wire steps out and it slows. And if you hear that ticking noise, it also slowly ticks down your HP. The more that you're in this, the longer that you walk around in it, the more damage you'll take. As you can see, the slow, in comparison to other slow effects, isn't that slow, to be honest. Right? It's still noticeable, but it's not like a Sage slow. It's not like a Chamber slow or anything like that, right? So you have to sort of understand that when you're using this utility to always sort of understand that like they're going to be up a lot faster than you think. Next is her shear, okay? So her shear is a wall. I can't demonstrate what this wall does, but I'm going to tell you. So essentially, if I'm an enemy and I walk past this wall, it is going to pop up and become an indestructible wall for around 7 seconds. Might be more than that, but it's definitely not less. Next, pretty self-explanatory. Next, we have her main ability, aka an Arc Rose. This comes back every 20 seconds on recharge, 45 if it gets shot. What you can do is your normal thing is just placing it on a wall like this. Click, you pick it up, and then you click your or F, whichever it is, and then you use your mouse 5 to pop it, and it flashes. Flashes pretty long, right? But it's pretty easy to shoot, especially if you know where it's going to pop from. And it's not the most difficult flash to dodge, but the important thing about this flash is that it creates a great noise if it blinds someone. All right, put on a wall here. You see? You didn't really hear a distinctive noise, but you will, right? It sort of kind of reminds me of like smacking wind chimes together. It's kind of the vibe that I get of like the noise, right? That it creates. Next is her ultimate, known as whatever the fuck the ultimate is called. Here we go. Steel Garden. Fucking domain expansion, I guess. As you can see, it's an AoE. Once you click it, it has a little wind up, right? Boom. Once it hits that wind up, that's when your enemy's guns are jammed for around 7 seconds. It's only their primary, so they can equip their secondary, and anything that is a gun or weapon that is an ability is not suppressed in this manner. So jet knives, neon ults, things of that nature, right? So how do you play VYSE, right? So on defense, it's pretty simple. One of the key things that you want to do with VYSE's utility is use the wall as a way to deny control and allow your teammates to flood, right? Also, if they go here, they can't plant on the wall. And if you pop the wall and they try to plant here, right? You can very easily just funnel out. Which is why I think VYSE is going to be really good, because you can put your wall on certain spots to deny, not necessarily deny, but make it hard to play these amazing post plants, right? Valorant has been played with the post plant meta, right? So for B, for example, right, like what you would do is you do the wall like this, right? So what it does is it pushes you out here, right? Or potentially you could throw the wall kind of like this. So if you try to go here to plant, which is usually kind of the plant spot, right? Because this is like you can get spammed if you plant it here. But here, right? Boom, this guy's trapped. You can run in, kill him. Okay? Over towards A. Same exact situation, right? If they like to plant here, you can put the wall like this. They come to plant. Nope, they get either pushed off or pushed forward, right? This ability is going to be really good. One thing that you need to understand about the ability, though, is that it's fairly easily countered in these sort of spaces, right? Like if you put it deep here, what an enemy can do is do this. Oh, like that, right? This will activate the wall and pop it up, and it basically bait it out, right? Another thing that we'll probably eventually be able to bait it out is a Yoru decoy. I would be really genuinely surprised if they don't fix a bug, is what people are speculating it as, is Yoru decoys aren't allowed to activate this, but they're definitely going to fix that at some point because it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't. So, how to sort of combo that with other utility, right? Personally, like, I think a flash here would be really good, right? And then you put like a slow right here. You prioritize like Omen smoking this, and as they come in, right, and they're running up, you pop the flash. It's not going to blind you, but it's going to blind anyone that's trying to fight you, right? Yeah, sure, they can shoot it, but if you time it well, you're already swinging into them as the flash is going off. You can get a free, quick kill, right? You can also just put the put this, like, basically is her trip, right? This is the equivalent of VYSE's trip because it activates upon use, like activates upon interaction by the enemy. Whereas everything else, you have to pop like an nanoswarm, right? With an E. You pop this ability with your mouse 5 key. And it comes back like every 20 seconds, like I said. Okay. Another thing. If you feel like the enemy is going to hit into you, popping this alt isn't actually terrible. Because I'm pretty sure even if you die, it will still go off, which means that it's really just setting up your teammates for success. Alting like right here is going to be where you alt, very similar to a KJ alt. You alt here, and they have to go all the way here to not get hit by this, right? So if you throw like a piece of utility there or something like that, it's really bad. Have you ever tried to fight a guy wind sprinting at you with the Phantom with a fucking classic? It's not fun most of the time, right? I think VYSE is especially going to be good at securing like a B site on this map, for example, right? Because like usually towards B, if you can make your way down sewer and pop the alt here, you can leave and you don't have to secure the alt like you would a KJ alt, right? You can just leave and go. Essentially, kind of, I think VYSE's ultimate is a better KJ alt in the sense that you don't have to protect it, but a worse KJ alt in the sense that it's easier to counterplay, right? By just shooting people with a gun. Yeah, sure, classics aren't that great, right? But if I just like, you know, this game's random, right? You can still kill people with pistols. Personally, I would buy like a sheriff or something if you see a VYSE has an alt, as long as you have the money to do so. Also, if you're a VYSE, never use this on an eco round, bro. Don't. Because it does not hit your secondary. Even if you just have a secondary, it will not affect you. So you can still run around with your sheriff here, and they can still beat the shit out of you on ecos. Right? So that's, I mean, on defense, right? Some things are pretty simple, right? You layer your utility together. You make sure that you can play off your utility, things like that, right? And VYSE is no different. I think the main thing is with the wall. A lot of people are going to want to put the wall like here, 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 and here, right? But more realistically, you want to put it deeper into the site to make sure that you secure control here, right? Now on attack, one thing that I think you can do really well is actually get info, because again, this will tell you if you blind somebody, or if someone shoots it, it'll, you know, you'll know if they shot it. Another thing, so we're gonna watch how far this shit goes. Yeet. Like, look at how far this thing goes. You can definitely make lineups for this, right? This is a really cool interaction, by the way, that I noticed. I didn't even mean to hit this, but yeah, so it falls down, which is always really good for like a slow or a molly, very similar to like the Sage slow. It sort of drops down. Another thing, right? You know, you're gonna have to usually, like, and if you're playing ranked, right? If you're playing with a duo, you're gonna want your duo to play like smokes usually, mainly because smokes can kind of just throw their smokes and then they can just sit and hold flank, right? Because in ranked, people are just going to flank. This also means that sometimes, hey, I don't need to set up my utility on site like a good person. I'm just gonna fucking sit here and wait for this fat ass to just run into spawn and I can kill him, right? That's always one thing that I think I even find myself doing, right? Is I always go with the pack and we end up getting flanked when realistically I should just wait for the flank, kill the flank, and then just run up on the site and throw my util, right? Getting lineups for this is going to be really important, especially for like just holding flank and being able to throw this from far away. This is just really annoying to go through. I mean, it's not as annoying as like a harbor wall or anything like that, but it's still just irritating. It's going to chip you down. If your teammates use phantoms, right, you're going to be able to just one-tap them as soon as they take basically any damage from that, or just put them extremely low. Not only that, if you combo her Razor Vines with like a Raisnade or a Sova Shock or like a Molly or anything like that is really good. Putting this on the bomb, a lot of people think that it's not like, oh, well, it doesn't immediately damage them, so there's no point. But if you put this right here, right, and someone's trying to defuse, you pop this and combo it with a Molly, right? Like, this guy can't run. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if you have a flash here and you have the Razor Vine here, look what you can do, right? Ready? 3, 2, 1. That guy's cooked. He's blind. He's slow. He's not going to be able to get around the corner in time. He's full flash. Like, you just win. Also, one big important thing, right? If you have your ults, you're going to want to sit towards the middle of a bomb site. The reason why is you want the biggest, most effective area. On C site, you can probably get away with doing something like this, maybe. But if you're right up here, right, you get all the way into garage, you get all the way down cubby. Well, I mean, that doesn't really matter. But you get all the way into the CT spawn, right? Which is going to push them all the way back here, right? So just delay is kind of the key of how you play Sentinels in the modern meta of Valorant. I think that VYSE fits really well into that. One thing that you need to just be aware of, right, is picking up your flash is always really important after you use it. Obviously, right now when you use VYSE, you're going to flash from the same spot. No one's going to shoot it because they don't know if they can shoot it and things like that, right? But as sort of like a key thing, right, if you flash from one side, if it hits someone or someone knows it's there, immediately pick it up so it doesn't get broken, so you have it on a faster cooldown. Pretty similar to like a Cypher Cam, for example, right? Like a lot of times people would Cypher Cam, like they would jump Cypher Cam this, right, to clear out this space. For this, you could just do it like this, pop the flash, pick it up, and then boom, there you go. It's a little clunky, as you can see, right? Takes some time. And I'm just spamming my buttons, right? It takes a little bit. So it's not necessarily the most effective, but the main thing is that it provides information, and it's on a regenerative cooldown, which is the big important thing about the flash. One thing that you can do if you want to get max value out of the flash is just make sure that you're using the flash for like denying a retake, right? Like for example, like my kind of thought process of like where this flash should go is probably like right here, or let's see if I can, yeah, like right here. Right, because basically, if you're coming out, whoop, nice little flash. You can also kind of do a similar thing here, right? Or putting it like right here. As you can see, like, boom. Right. Just pretty much like the main thing, like with flashes in general, that I talk to people who really don't know how to play flash initiators or just use flashes in general. Most rule of thumb is just up high and behind wherever you're playing is kind of the main thing. I know some Sentinel players have never played flashes before, so they really don't know this concept. But high is always more important than low, because low, right? Boom. High. Does that make sense, right? Most of the time you're able to pull their crosshair up higher to shoot, right? Than you would lower, right? Because, you know, lower, it's not that hard of a flick, right? But higher, they have to go super high, right? As well as, like, if it's high and behind you, you're only going to get partial flashed if you're, like, fighting it like this, right? Like, if, you know, you hit the flash, boom, you can be fighting here, and you're not going to get as full blind in comparison to just throwing directly in front of you, and potentially you, oh, nope, I'm full blind, right? So, VYSE is an agent that you can play very simplistically, but also you can get really complex with. So, in my opinion, one thing that you need to do if you want to play VYSE is play VYSE, fuck around with her utility, lineups, whatever, right? And really find what style works for you. Some of you are going to find that playing really aggressive works out with the flash, with the wall. Some of you are going to find that playing passive and playing for retake and things like that works really well. And it's honestly up to the player. Pretty much no matter what agent you play in Valorant, one thing you need to understand is that you don't necessarily have to play the agent exactly how everyone else plays them, right? Play the agent your way with your style, and it's always going to be better than trying to mimic a style that doesn't suit you. So leave a like and subscribe. Come watch me on Twitch. I will be live as I'm posting this, just fucking grinding solo queue, trying to get my immortal back, and just living life, okay? So, see you guys later. Peace.